We're up bright and early to get a start on the tonner for this weekend. We've only got 2 days to get this cabin epoxy. Let's see if we can make it happen. Yes, you did hear me correctly. We have only got 2 days to get this thing bare metaled and in epoxy. Now, the other night, Dad and I got the engine out of the chassis so that we can access everything. We also got the cab off the rotisserie and back onto the chassis. So she's looking like a car once again. Plan is to get the cab to the shop, but I have found one thing that I need to do before we get it to the shop. Just below the B pillar, there's a little bit of rust where I've circled it down there, and same on the other side. So I will have to repair that. That is exactly why we have to cut this out, because it would have just kept rusting out. So make a quick patch, weld it back in. So I've been to my collection of steel. Thickest I could find was 3mm. That is only about 2mm. So I've gone into my scrap bin and I found this old steering column. It is actually the exact thickness that I need, so I'll cut this up. It's already pretty rusty, so I'm not reckoning a good one. It's always a good feeling when you can finally use that one part that you've been storing out the back of the shed to finally use it for something. But I then got the section all in rust converter, so make sure it does not rust any further. Got the piece all fitting flush and nice, and then we welded them both in. And all that was left was to get it to the shop. And we have arrived. She looks so good. She hasn't been on a trailer for a long time. When I say the tonner has been on a trailer for a long time, I mean 4 years. And it hasn't even left my garage in 4 years. So to see it somewhere different was pretty cool. And I have to admit, she looked very good out in the sun. Thank you, Tom, for letting us borrow your facilities. And thank you to my Uncle Ryan for letting us borrow the territory so that we could get the car here. Today, my little brother, Jack, came down to give us a hand. And he's been an absolute weapon. He's still grinding right now while I'm filming. He's doing so well. I'm so proud of him. He's never used a grinder before and he's already got the hang of it. And I cannot thank him enough for helping me. But we got the car here and now it's back on the rotisserie. So this is my little brother Jack.
How's it going?
And he's come down and given us a hand for today. And what was it, your first time using the grinder, flapper disc?
Something like that, I don't know.
And he's smashing it, you're doing well.
Yeah.
You want to show everyone what you've done?
Yeah.
Alright, so
I did all this with the
orbital sander.
Yeah.
Yep,
Then
so
I did all that.
Scuffing everything up, ready for
that
Valspar.
side.
Yep.
And then I grinded back all those.
Grinding back to the nibs that
Then
were
I did some of that.
just cleaning everything up, so it was nice.
There's more on this side though. I did. Then the main ones were probably on this side. That was probably like the worst ones.
So the reason why you've done that is because they were dangling out, aren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah, so there are a few little nibbly bits. You won't see because the
Shout
chassis
out to my
sits
brother
over
for
the
giving me
top,
a hand with the sanding,
but just to
because
clean it all
it is
up,
not a
make the
great
chassis
job.
look a little bit
And
nicer.
he's
Jack's
still
gone through and
stuck
done
around
a good
and
job
done an
cleaning it
amazing
up,
job
so
helping me out.
Thank you.
done a good job, mate.
Yeah.
Still got to finish buzzing the whole chassis down, so we'll keep doing that, and then hopefully we'll be getting ready for Valspar, which is a pretty big thing. So
Yes. Definitely.
we're pretty stoked to get that done, and
Been waiting.
yeah, a long time. So I've already smashed out, sanding and scuffing up the bottom of the floor. I just want to quickly interrupt to say that this took forever, but this floor came up mint. We did some filler work and a bit of sanding work, and it was my first time actually experiencing that. And shout out to all the bodywork people, because preparing things just takes forever, and I definitely underestimated how much work goes into getting everything scuffed up and ready for paint. And also shout out to Jack. He gave me a hand scuffing up the floor when I was doing it, and it's not an amazing job, but he did really well to give me a hand with that. So that will be ready for stone guard. The next step for me on this cab is to get it fully bare metaled. that is going to be quite a big process because there's still lots that isn't bare metal. Now Dad has been in the booth getting the chassis ready to go. That is all scuffed up. We put a little bit of filler in this area where I did the rust repair, so that's all looking nice because we will see that when it's under the tray. So everything is looking nice. And we're going to get this in some Valspar black, so I'm pretty keen for that. Big thank you to my mum. She rocked up with a part that we left at home, and she also made us dinner for tonight so that we could stay back and get more work done. So massive thanks to her. We couldn't really get this much done if it wasn't for her. So thanks, Mum. Really appreciate it. We all know a fresh lick of paint makes everything look 10 times better. So let's have a quick look of how the chassis was looking before we got her in paint. Now, let's have a look at the final product. So happy with how that turned out. To see it in paint is a pretty big step. That is one thing ticked off, and that's all we're going to get done for day one. Tomorrow is the last day we're going to get. We've got to get this thing fully epoxied. Now, there is a lot involved to get this in epoxy. We're firstly bare metal everything. Now, I've obviously done most of it already. There are just a few things I've got to go over. You can see there's a little bit of surface rust on the roof, but all in here, I've got to muck around with all this tight little fiddly stuff that is just not fun to access or get to. So all that needs to get cleaned up before we can get any epoxy on it. We've got it on the rotisserie so that we can access this and finish this off. We'll have to do some seam sealer and then get this in stone guard. We've got a big day ahead of us tomorrow. We've already had a late night tonight, so we'll be up bright and early once again to try and smash this out. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. We've just rolled the chassis out of the booth. So you can see we didn't paint that compared to what we have painted. It looks so much cleaner. And I'm super stoked with how these corners turned out as well. So that is one massive thing that we got ticked off, and it looks unreal. As we all know, car parts are not cheap. Being able to do most of the work myself makes it a little bit more affordable, but now we're getting to the stage where we need to buy some car parts. Now, I'm not asking anyone to donate any money or buy anything off me, but I do ask if you could please subscribe and hit that thumbs up button, because the more subscribers that I've got gives me more of a chance to get a sponsor on board. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's continue on with the video. We got majority of the cab bare metaled, but we couldn't access the back of the cab because the rotisserie was limiting our access to get in there and clean it up. So we took the back section of the rotisserie off, and then Dad and I smashed it all out, got it all bare metaled, and it came up an absolute treat. But once we had finished that, we got the rotisserie back on, and on its side we did some seam sealer on the bottom, so that was all cleaned up. We also put a little bit of primer of that to make sure that all the spots that we had sanded were protected and there was no exposed bare metal. It is already super late. The cab still isn't ready for epoxy, but we have to get it done tonight. So we're gonna have to keep smashing it out. I've got school tomorrow, so I don't want to be up too late, but we have to get it done tonight.
Perfect.
we've got 2 coats of the epoxy on the cab so far. We had it on the rotisserie so that we could get underneath with the stone guard, and the stone guard has shit itself. It is not working at all. It's not coming out. It's gluggy. I think the paint might be expired. We're not too sure, but it is really not good. It is super late, and this is not what we wanted to happen, but fingers crossed we can get it to work. We have been defeated. The stone guard did not want to work, and that means we have to call it a night for tonight. We did get her in epoxy though, which is still a good thing. 2 coats all done and dusted. Still happy with what we did get done though. It is just a shame that we couldn't finish off the stone guard and do the Valspar. It was a pretty successful weekend. A little bit unfortunate that we couldn't get it fully complete and everything ticked off that we would have liked, but this is what happens with cars. There's always something. Anyway, it has been about a week since I was last in the shop. This is the first time I've had a look at the tonner. So let's have a look together. Oh wow. Have a look at her. Wow. Look at how different she looks. Doors on. Holy. It's a bloody different car. This is such a weird feeling. The chassis all painted. That is crazy. So Dad went in on the Monday after we were in on the weekend. You all would have seen that we didn't get the stone guard finished off, which I was a little bit bummed out about. But massive thank you to Ethan. He gave us some of his leftover wrapped coating to finish off the bottom. So that was all done, and then Dad got it back on the chassis and it looks unreal. I'm so happy with this. Now I need to get the guards and everything on. So let's have a proper look at how she looks when everything is bolted on. The tonner is back home and she's definitely looking a lot better than when she left. Now, we've got some big episodes to come, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you did enjoy today's video, give it a thumbs up. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.